Hi, everybody. I'm Danny Vega, joined by two lovely returning guests. Emily Winter, who was just on the show.
Hello.
Her husband, comedian. He's done my Juice show. Chris Calogero, welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You've been on the show since I think you were on a double-digit episode. I think you're on episode 16 or something.
Yeah, I was early, man.
That's crazy.
What
Early
episode
days.
is this?
This is episode probably 670 something.
6? Dang, man.
670 something.
I missed out on some.
I missed you, man. I missed
Judging
you.
people is so fun.
It is.
It is
It's wonderful.
endlessly. I feel, really drawn to this.
Oh, really?
Oh, judging people on morality stuff is my favorite thing to do. I'm on a high right now. It's like I took drugs.
Yeah.
I feel great.
I love to hear that. So you did a couple episodes recently, and you mentioned that that you're like the unfun person in your marriage, and how did you put it? I should have said it that way.
I'm mean, but I'm very fun. No, I just think that Chris is the one that everybody loves, and that makes sense. I'm more of the I'm more judgmental.
Yeah.
And
You're more serious, I think, to some people because you are a great organizer and planner.
yeah.
And also you get a little shy sometimes.
Yes, I'm more judgmental, but also more shy. So
You're shy, especially around new people in new situations where I'm pretty comfortable diving in and meeting people.
Yeah. For example, I did extra work this week on a show that he works for. And that was the first time I've ever been an extra. And it took me so long to start talking to people because everyone else was an actor and they were just hello, and just start talking. And I was just in the corner for a while before I had a book and I was yeah. I get really shy around
I
people.
see a lot of myself in that. I'm a little entering a space. I have hostile thoughts, which I have to suppress. I'm okay, that's not valid. You're just insecure. You're having those thoughts.
Yes.
And I think people will assume, because I try to stick to my own little territory where I'm not like that because I'm comfortable. This is kind of my thing. So people will think I'm extroverted, but it actually, I had that warm up period. I feel a little
cautious.
closed off. Yes.
Or at your birthday, we didn't know anybody. And also because a lot of your female friends are not comedians.
Yeah.
They were well-groomed, which is very intimidating. That was very intimidating to me. I was
that was intimidating?
Yeah, I was look at all this brushed hair. I was who are these people?
Yeah.
And I got a little shy where you were more outgoing. And then I warmed up and we started talking to people.
Yeah, especially if there's food around to talk about. I'll really, go to town on the food and the conversation about food. So, yeah.
Do you have a specific or what? Will you just talk about food experiences? Where do you go?
If there's something somebody was oh, this salsa is delicious, and I was yeah, this salsa is really good. What's in there? Oh, where'd you get it? Trader Joe's. You know what I love at Trader Joe's? This and that, and then we're in.
And you also have sports. He's a sports he has a great brain for remembering sports things.
Sports is one of the great conversation or ice-breaking equalizers because you can just chat. I can just if somebody likes a sport, I can chat with them about it and start talking to them. And it's it's a different language in a lot of ways. It's its own language to me. You can know nothing about that person, but you can talk about this stuff. Yeah.
I'm jealous. I spent a lot of my life in the sports ball being sports ball phase. And now I'm legitimately God, I wish I could care. It's funny, topics. So I went through a space phase recently.
I don't know what Emily hates space.
That's the scariest phase.
You're anti-space.
I am anti-space.
I love space.
You don't like space.
Space scares the shit out of me. Black nothingness for as far as you can see, feel, and conceive is...
Yeah. Yeah, well, 96 billion light years, and then we don't know what's beyond that. But sharks? But I thought, and I didn't really think it was going to come up. I was this is low conversational value. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. But I was actually at an event, and I ran into somebody, and we got into space. And I was
space bros?
Yeah, and I was we're going to have a space bro out. And I just learned this crazy space fact, which is basically how we know that the Big Bang happened, which is, and Emily, I'm sorry if this is hard for you.
No, it's fine.
Emily's a creationist, strict creationist.
So I was literally I learned this thing, which is basically we can see stars that are so far from other stars, there's no way that they could causally impact each other. They're too far. They're fast, the speed of light is only so fast.
Right.
And we know there's therefore a common event because they look the same. They have the same cosmic microwave background.
Same Same nose. Yeah.
Same nose.
Yeah.
You know, now this is not
They
the
went to
most
the same plastic surgeon.
exactly. Not the most relatable fact, whatever, you know, but I brought this up to, I thought, another space person. And I was literally like mid-sentence, like, and that's how we know the Big Bang happens. And he's just like, no one knows. No one knows. And I was like, well, I was actually saying something we do know.
Yeah.
And he was like, I believe in intelligent design. And I was like, God, I didn't even think this was political.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't even realize this is a landmine I could walk on.
Yeah, dude.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Even
So-
space is political. There's nowhere you can go.
know?
There's nowhere you can go.
I'm like, you're mad at me.
Emily scuba dives, which is
Ooh.
terrifying
Wow.
to me.
You scuba dive?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have an amazing bit about how scary that is.
Yeah, it's
Something
really
about-
funny. And like my family's really into, like my dad and I dive. And so like we take him on tropical vacations and he's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man,
'cause
I
he
ran
has
into
a
a barracuda once, and I thought it was coming for me. Yeah.
That's really unexpected that you scuba dive, given
Why?
that you're so, because the ocean, as Chris's bit is all
is
about,
wet
is kind
space,
of like,
basically.
It's wet space. It is wet space.
I don't night dive for that reason. I will only do it in the light of day.
oh, so you're relatively shallow. The sun is still.
Oh, you've gone like 90 feet down.
I've gone
90
I've gone
feet?
like 120 feet down. I've gone probably farther than that.
Yeah.
I would have to check the logs. But yeah, I'm fine with it. Weirdly,
Yeah, it's funny, right?
You are complicated. You could say in so many
I
multitudes.
think it's like because I started when I was so young. I started when I was 12, and it was like my dad was already diving, and he made it look so cool and made it sound so cool. So then, like when when a parent says this isn't scary, then you're just like you take their word for it, and then
Especially
you
when
get,
you're that young.
yeah, and then you just kind of believe it, and then
Yeah.
like I think at some point in my 20s, I was like, wait a second, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah. My dad
but-
went to space, so that's why I like space. Yeah.
You know what? We were just at a party and we were talking to two TV writers that write for All Mankind, the show,
yeah.
a show about space.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, jealous unemployed writer part of me is like, how'd you get that? But then we started talking to them, and they are real scientists and nerds, and they were like, oh, space, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm so happy
And
that
Emily
these
was
are
like,
the people
Jesus
that
Christ.
no, and I was
No,
like,
no.
I'm so happy that it's real nerds
Yes.
writing for the show and not just like, I don't know, like some
Any
any
writers.
writer. Yeah. I was like, man, they got the right people to do this.
Yeah.
Can I say, I feel like, people will say, how'd you get that? I feel like that's a sin for some reason.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know. I think I'm ready to defend how'd you get that. Because
Maybe that's your, yeah.
I think you can't. I'm I think in agreement with you, but I think you have to phrase it differently.
Well, no, I think I don't think it'll play well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good idea, but I'm just saying, I think if someone was like, oh, your podcast records at Spotify, how'd you get that? I would be like so eager to respond. I'd be like, years of not recording at Spotify.
Yeah.
Years of screaming in my living room, annoying my girlfriend,
Yes. I think you have to ask it. If you're going to ask it, you have to do it with like a grain of salt, because like the answer is always like, it's been a long, hard road. And I recently got an email from someone whose son wants to write a book about a trip he went on. And she was basically like, you've written a book. How'd you get that? And it was kind of, and I went back and forth with her a few times. And I was like, I'm not trying to be like obtuse, but like, you just like pick a thing to do, and then you work really, really hard at it for a really long time, and then maybe something will come of it. But she wanted me to like take like
It's like, yeah, but how
direct her
does
to
he
the
get a
website.
book?
Yes, exactly. And I was like,
He wants to write a book.
so I was like, basically, he's got to write a book. Like, then if you want to write a book, you got to write a book. Like, anyway, so I think you have to sort of ask it knowing that the answer isn't going to be, you just go to this website and fill out a form,
Fill out a form, and then the AI writes the worst book that you've ever read that no one wants to read. Well, guys, we're going to bring back a game. I know a lot of you love it. It's a classic, and we're going to have you guys play against each other for a little round of Guess the Verdict, people. Yes, it's back. AITA. For refusing to let my girlfriend drive my car because she's totaled 2 cars before.
Not the asshole. Gotta be.
Asshole.
Talk to me.
YTA.
Why?
Really?
Yeah. Because I think that no matter what, if it's your girlfriend and you're gonna go further with her, maybe make her your wife, you gotta let her drive your car at some point. So like, get over it.
Okay, I don't think that they would be mad to hear this about them. We have two friends who we love, Kale and Jesse.
Just naming them.
And they are extraordinary people and horrible drivers.
Yeah.
If you were dating Kale or Jesse, would you let them drive your car?
I think I would have to. I would just have to.
What?
I would just have to at a certain point get over it. And
I'd be like, Kale, you're not driving my car. You drive almost on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Here's the explanation. OP bought his first nice car, Mazda 3. Sounds mid to me, but whatever, bro.
I hate a Mazda.
Emily, 24F, wants to drive it. She's totaled 2 cars prior. Now, this might change your answer, Chris. 1 was merging. Classically tough. I give her that one. 2, reversing into a light pole in an empty parking lot.
Eeps. Okay.
She badgers OP and said it's weird he won't let his own girlfriend drive his car, but also admitted at one point to not paying attention because she gets bored.
Okay. Well, context is everything, isn't it?
Top comment went NTA, 1 point for Emily.
Woo!
They wrote, my sister had been in 7 car collisions. None were her fault. Not even when she destroyed our mom's garage because it jumped out at her.
Let me tell you, though.
This woman kind of sounds like...
Let me tell you, a garage can come out of nowhere.
It can come out of nowhere.
Yeah, for real.
Especially here in California.
Yeah,
they're
my God.
domesticated. They're like, they're comfortable with humans.
Absolutely.
AITA for being anxious that my girlfriend borrows money and never pays it back.
NTA.
I mean...
because... Again, this is all like relationship stuff. You got to figure it out. You know what I mean? So if you have anxiousness, that's okay. But you have to talk about it at some point. So talk about it. Get rid of the anxiousness.
NTA. I don't even understand why this person feels guilty.
Yeah.
If you were borrowing money and not paying it back, I would be embarrassed to be married to you. And I would be like, I am so sorry that...
More embarrassed.
I am so sorry that my husband keeps not paying stuff back. And I would be like, I would probably try to take on some of the financial burden because I would be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Explanation, OP's girlfriend borrowed $1,000 from him to pay rent. Now she wants $300 for her car and he's anxious. Top comment went, YTA...
What?
To yourself. So it was kind of a tricky one. Don't loan people money that you don't that you need. Don't loan money to friends and family. Think of it like a gift. And I do think that's true.
Oh.
Let me tell you though,
I
I work on Judge Judy show, and that scenario is a case constantly.
Really?
Constantly.
What do they decide?
It really depends on the conversations that they've had, but people are always borrowing money and then turning around and saying it was a gift, and the person's like, "It's not a gift. You said I would pay you back." And if that's in writing somewhere, then
Got him.
Yeah.
AITA for constantly judging my sister's parenting.
YTA.
YTA. Yes, YTA.
OP is 30 and single. Sister got 2 kids, a husband, and a brother who lives in the garage. Shout out to the brother. I don't know why I like him.
Yeah. You're a garage
Cody.
brother kind of guy.
That's Cody
Yeah.
from
Step by Step.
You know how they had like a random dude who lived in the backyard
No.
on that show?
I don't know what you're talking about. Daughter is a bully who kicks their cat.
Oh.
OP goes around constantly complaining about their parenting because they feel like they can't say anything to them. Top comment went, everyone sucks here.
Yeah.
Your sister's parenting seems questionable, but all you and your family do is gossip, tear into her behind her back. How does that accomplish anything? I thought that was pretty valid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry to sound so Hollywood, but literally save the cat. Like,
Save
get
the
that cat.
There we go.
Save that cat.
Save that cat.
Have a conversation.
Truth. AITA for seeing messages over my boyfriend's shoulder.
NTA?
YTA, yeah.
So
I'm an NTA.
boyfriend went out with new friends. OP wasn't invited. She sees on his phone that he texted his friend, bruh, look how pretty shorty next to me is. OP confronts boyfriend. He flips it saying that she went through his phone, then goes and tells his friends that she's looking through his phone. Verdict went NTA. Generally speaking, looking over someone's shoulder to see their phone is intrusive and creepy. This is not the case in this instance, though.
Yeah. I hate the reading the messages thing because it always hinges on what the messages say. If it's bad, then it's like, yeah, that sucks.
I mean, I feel like if you're in your phone in public for whatever reason, and you are putting stuff on your phone that people shouldn't look at, like, I don't think it makes them, I mean, if they're sitting there watching you, yes, but if they glance it and see something that intrigues them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I see that stuff on your phone all the time. And if something came up on my phone and you read it right now, because you're sitting here, I wouldn't be like, oh no.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm wrong. Yeah.
Will you send that clip to me?
Yeah, we'll play that. We'll get a buzzer that plays it. So that was NTA. So wait, what's the score here? You have one more point than Chris, right? Because you guys got one.
No, well, I got the first one right and you got it wrong, and then I got this one right. Right? Did I get this one right?
Yeah, you got this one right.
So I think
I'm up 2.
Up 2, yeah.
Up, so. Emily's up 2.
Ooh,
so we're gonna make this one worth 3 points.
Okay.
AITA for indulging in passive aggression.
NTA.
YTA.
OP's partner got sober. Her friend suddenly refuses to engage in any text messages or conversation related to the now sober partner. OP doubles down and keeps bringing him up.
Oh.
Do we want to change our answers?
Oh, God. YTA, definitely.
Top comment went YTA.
YTA, yeah.
She doesn't like him. She doesn't have to like him. Grow up and accept that or end your friendship because right now you're being a crappy friend.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree
with that.
She doesn't want to get into it. All right, I guess we're going to give the win to Emily.
Changed her answer after the prompting from Danny.
I'll cheat.
We wanted her to win, Chris. Let's be honest.
Fair enough.
All right, guys, we got a great little app for you guys today. Our second story of the day. Emily's going to read this one. I'm starting to find the way my husband looks disgusting. Whoa. But first, folks, AITA for not letting my brother's girlfriend stay in my guest room after she made a scene at dinner. I, 30F, live in a nice 2-bedroom apartment in the city. One of my bedrooms is a guest room, and my family often uses it when they come visit. I'm close with my brother, Alex, 27M, and he recently started dating a woman, Jenna, 26F. This weekend, Alex asked if he and Jenna could stay with me while they visited the city. I said yes, of course, because I want to meet her, and Alex has always been respectful of my home. Things started off fine, but at dinner on the first night, Jenna made things awkward. We were eating at a nice Italian restaurant, and while we were waiting for our food, Jenna started talking about how people who rent instead of owning homes are financially irresponsible.
How does it come up?
I laughed it off at first, thinking it was a joke, but she doubled down, saying it was, quote, basically throwing money away every month. I calmly told her I rent because I valued the flexibility it gives me, especially since my job might require me to relocate in the next few years. She then said, quote, well, maybe if you stop spending so much money on eating out, you'd be able to afford a down payment.
Ugh. Who is this Elon Musk's mom? Who's like, poor people should just procreate and never have fun. Anyway.
Alex looked mortified and told her to drop it, but she wouldn't. She went on to say that people like me are, quote, part of the reason the economy is so messed up because we don't prioritize home ownership. I snapped back and told her she was being rude and condescending and that my financial choices were none of her business.
Yeah.
The rest of the dinner was tense. When we got back to my apartment, I told Alex privately that I didn't feel comfortable having Jenna stay in my home anymore. He tried to apologize on her behalf, but I stood firm. I told him he was welcome to stay, but Jenna had to find another place. Jenna overheard and got upset, accusing me of being overly sensitive and dramatic. She said she didn't mean anything by her comments and that I was taking things too personally. Alex ended up leaving with her, and now he's upset, saying I overreacted and put him in an awkward position. I feel bad for making Alex choose, but at the same time, I feel like Jenna disrespected me in my own home and doubled down when called out. AITA.
Oh, man.
I'm furious.
Didn't disrespect her in her own home at the restaurant, but, you know.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, it's a whatever.
It wasn't really your own home, was it?
But to me, like, this is like classic rich person bullshit. That they have no understanding of how the world actually works, where people have to rent homes or like. Does she live in a home where she pays no mortgage? Like, what are we talking about?
She probably still lives with her parents, or she owns her own home, in which case, great. You know what? I would love to own my own home. We would love it if we owned our apartment. Can we afford that? No. Okay. Yeah. Right. It's so. it's just like it's ignorant and there's a word. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I don't like what she said. I think what she said is flat wrong. I don't know if she's rich. I think she might just be. I mean, there's also, this is a little bit coastal. It's a little bit coastal elite energy as well. Yeah. It's possible that could explain her, right? Because homes still are cheap when you go inland in America.
That's true.
So it is, and I can see how certain people would think this way. It doesn't really make it acceptable. It's ignorant. I mean, it's ignorant.
Ignorant. I just want to know what her situation is, you know?
Why is she an expert? Wait, what is she talking about that renting is ruining the economy? I mean, like, you want to talk about Airbnb or something? Like, you have some more legs to stand on, I guess. I don't get it. I don't get her argument. Also, even if I were only 30, if a 26-year-old started telling me how to run my financial life, I might hit them. I might hit them in the face. I can't believe they went
through the whole dinner together after that. Like, I feel like they're like, right? And then we continued to have dinner. I feel like that's like kind of a dinner ender when the person's being so rude and then somebody calls them out and like, you're being rude and condescending to me. And then they just are like, anyway, our pasta's here. Like, I feel like, I mean, I know you probably would sit down and still eat, but man, oh man.
Yeah.
Like this is why she seems like a really, really rich person to me, is because she thinks she's not being rude.
I think that's where I'm struggling, you guys. I know we're dunking on her. I don't like her. I don't like what she said. I think she's ignorant. I think she's wrong. I think that she's arrogant. I also think she's 26 years old. Which I can give her a little bit of grace. Not as much as if she was 18.
I'll give some grace, but the person called her, basically was like, stop. Like, clearly the boyfriend and his sister, the OP, were like, hey, okay, like, enough. And she kept going, which is, to me, like, we've given you leeway.
Right.
To have this opinion, and now we would like it to stop.
No. I don't think she said stop. So she said, Alex looked mortified and told her to drop it, but she wouldn't.
Right.
And then she blamed the economy on OP. I snapped back. And then OP says she was being rude and condescending and that my financial choices were none of her business. Yeah.
Literally, why, if you are so disgusted with renters, why would you want to stay in an apartment that is rented? Like, just go somewhere else.
I mean, you also know this person lives in a rented apartment. That's the thing. It's just a lack of awareness, and a person is putting you up. Like, you can have this opinion. Nobody can stop you from that, but you don't do it to their face. And especially when your boyfriend is like, leave it alone because we're staying with this person.
It's such a shitty opinion.
It's such a stupid opinion.
That's I think, a big problem with it. If it was a little bit more grounded, like if it was more like, there's actually an analysis in the Times which says that, and it actually did say that renting is a better deal in certain cities for whatever reason, because the cost of ownership is so high. But actually in the city we're in, renting is considered financially loss leader or whatever, lose your money. But this feels like a thinly veiled personal attack, because I'm like, I've never heard that in my life.
Never heard it. And also, I mean, obviously everyone would choose to own if they could. But also, like the OP said, there are other reasons to rent, like flexibility. Like, what if I want to live in a high rise for a few years, but I don't want to live in a high rise forever? Like, there's so many different reasons to rent.
She mentions her job too, right?
She wants flexibility. Yeah, I mean, there's a million reasons to want to rent. I mean, it's very rigid. I think that her perspectives are so not things that anybody has ever said that I'm like, this feels like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but catty. It feels catty.
Oh, yeah.
Because
no,
absolutely. Woman. So I'm like, she's like being really catty toward the brother's sister. I'm like,
definitely
what are you
feels
doing?
like she heard that the sister rents and had an immediate opinion about it before this dinner, and then couldn't help herself but to bring something like this up. But like, you're right. The opinion is also an insane opinion. It's insane. It's like, it doesn't seem to be based. It seems to be based in her reality.
Yes.
Which is why, again, I think this is a rich person because their reality is so skewed.
I don't think so because I don't even think... I mean, an ignorant rich person, I'll give you, but like, I feel like most rich people know that like buying up all the real estate is like, that's kind of like what the rich people are doing. So like, it's like,
but that's what I mean, because they buy real estate. They go, that's the way forward.
Well, but they buy it because it appreciates and that's why no one can afford it.
But when you're young and you just grew up,
she hasn't put it together.
She hasn't put together that they do that because they view these things as investments and not homes, you know?
Of course.
I'm wondering if she's not rich, but she's just very suburban. And like, cause the way the OP even writes about like, I live in the city and like nobody else lives in the city and they come to visit me in the city. So like if you...
That's lining up more that this feels like, you know, rich town, poor town or like the city versus the townies.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
True. Yeah,
and like maybe she did get a house out in the burbs or something that was not very expensive. And, you know, she is whatever, but like that she's acting like that's morally better and it's not. And that's, yeah.
I think there's a big gap between when someone, I'll be honest, when I put this in here, I was going to be mad at OP for kicking them out, but
I wouldn't kick them out.
I wouldn't because I'm like,
I definitly wouldn't serve coffee to them.
Nice. I don't think she's an asshole, but for doing it, but I wouldn't. And I would just be like, I would be like, I'm going to bed. Good night. In the morning, I would be like, goodbye. And I would be like, Alex, I never want to see Jenna again.
Like after the sleepover.
Yeah. I would be like, I'm going to bed. You guys can stay up if you want, whatever. Here's the TV, but I am removing myself from the situation. It's obviously nighttime. Like, you don't want to kick people out on the street unless you really have to. I think she went a little overboard, but I actually don't think she's like an asshole for doing it. Like it's her space. And
I do wish I do like that she offered this idea that her brother could stay, but the girlfriend would have to go someplace else. Like as if that was going to happen. Yeah. That would be so funny if it did. He was like, hey man, I'm staying, but you gotta go.
You gotta go. Yeah.
Mother Surge 3350 writes the audacity. She probably doesn't have a pot to piss in and has the nerve to lecture you on your finances. Not the asshole she is. Single Alfredo Female writes ESH. Her for obvious reasons. You because you waited until you were back at your apartment. The right move would have been to tell him at the restaurant. I think it's best if Jenna finds a hotel. It seems mean-spirited to have them come all the way back to your apartment to be turned away. She deserved that, but your brother did not.
Nah.
I think you can think about it. You see, you need time to think about this. You're like, that was really mean. Am I being crazy? No, that was really mean. Okay, you know, like sometimes you don't get the answer.
Plus you're eating your chicken parm at this point.
Yeah,
you don't know. But like, who knows? They might live a block away from the restaurant. You don't know that situation. She lives in the city.
I can't charge on that note.
No,
I do feel rereading this. I think a key thing is that the boyfriend was like, hey, why don't you just drop it? Like other people are coming in and being like, hey, this is getting personal.
Yeah.
And this is my sister. And you're basically you're using this like people who rent and you're basically just saying my sister.
Yeah.
And the opinion is such trash.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Cause like, I think if someone gets insulted about something that's not about them, I'm like, I would carve out more room. And then if someone called you on like, hey, they're taking this personally, but like I view this as thinly veiled hostility. That's all it
absolutely.
was, you know, it's like, trying to think of a different example. It'd be like if I was like, yeah, Hondas freaking suck. Like those are trash cars to get all the way. And you guys are like, oh, we actually drive a Honda. I'm like, well, I didn't even fucking know.
Yeah.
And also I would be like, I don't care.
Yeah. Right. But it's like, that's not, so it's like, to me that I want to carve out that difference, but I think this wasn't that. This wasn't her stating a neutral opinion. This was just an attack.
It was a straight up attack.
It's just so rude. Like, how could you think that this is an acceptable way to behave?
Right. Right. Especially to double down. The doubling down of it, like you said, makes it okay. You now know better, and when you know better and you still go for it, it's kind of unforgivable at that point. Like
we all have people that we wouldn't live our lives the way they live their life.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're morally wrong for living the life that they want.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Are you kidding? I don't know.
Yeah. I agree.
AITA for not letting my brother's girlfriend stay in my guest room after she made a scene at dinner. I think I see you at, I actually like that she kicked him out.
Me too.
It sends such a clear message. It's like,
it's cool.
It's kind of cool.
It's cool. I'm just a people pleaser. And I know in that situation,
Same.
I would be like, can you get them some towels? Because I cannot look at them,
right?
But give them the fucking towels.
I mean, I think we probably would. You let them stay. You activate a group text.
Yeah.
You call your mom the next day and be like, "This new girlfriend gotta go, baby." And
I know we would let them stay because we let somebody stay in our apartment for 2 months.
Yeah,
that was taking advantage of us.
I think I would send my brother a text and be like, and I love my brother's girlfriend, but I would be like, yo, bro, not a fan of that. I'm going to let you stay here, but it ain't going to happen.
That was
again.
not cool. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I would let them. It'd be hard. So I think we're lined up on that one, though. It's not the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And she is.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to find the way my husband looks disgusting. I'm not sure if disgusting is the word I'm looking for, but I don't know what other word fits. My husband and I have been married for 3 years. We are in our early 20s, and I love him so much. When we were dating, I knew he wasn't the type of guy to care much about his looks or what others thought of him. He was a surfer boy that wouldn't wear shoes or a shirt unless he really needed to. As the years go by, I noticed he's getting lots of wrinkles. It looks like he could be in his 30s.
Oh, no.
Wow.
And it's not the wrinkles that bother me. It's the fact that he was always in the sun surfing for hours and would never wear sunscreen no matter how much I insisted. He never wears body lotion either, so he is always ashy, and he hates washing his face or doing any skincare. He does shower and brushes his teeth.
Whoa.
I just wish he cared a little more about himself for the future. He also eats only fast food, and if he eats the stuff I cook at home, he rarely ever eats veggies or salad. He has a horrible diet and eats cereal basically every day for breakfast or dinner. He eats a lot of chips and ice cream every day. He is not overweight. His body is not bad, but I just wish he cared more. He hates working out and hates when I try to get him to eat better. Because of his diet, his body odor just smells very sour.
You got yourself a fermented man right there.
This dude's rotten.
IDK, how to explain his and his farts smell like straight up fast food. LOL. I just feel like I get the ick when I look at him. We wake up in the morning, and if we need to go grocery shopping or run errands, he won't even do his hair or wash his face, and he has very messy hair when it's not brushed. It's embarrassing going with him anywhere while I try to at least look clean, and he has eye boogers and a messy bedhead. More than the way he looks, it's his attitude about it that drives me crazy. I've tried having nice conversations with him about it and have asked him nicely to care for himself more. I even help him brush his hair and wash his face sometimes. Jesus. But I want a husband that does those things for me because he wants to look good for me, not a husband that is whining while I do his hair or tell him to wash his face or wear pants that don't have a hole in them. I feel like maybe I've been too mean to him lately because I've been telling him he looks ugly and I don't want to hold his hand when we are out, but IDK, what else to do? We've had the discussion for over a year now and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. I'm scared he's going to have so many health issues in the future, like diabetes because of his diet or something. I just want to feel married to a man and not a child I have to train. I've cried about this so much already and I don't know what else to do. When we first got married, I used to never mind his morning breath and loved the way he looked, but now he just seems to have gotten very sloppy. Divorce isn't really an option because we don't do that unless cheating is involved, but I'm willing to separate if it means I'll be happier. I just can't live with someone with those habits. He wasn't this bad when we first got married. I've also talked to him about depression and he says he's fine, so I don't know why he is the way he is. If anyone has any advice that could maybe help him change, I would appreciate it. I love him and I wish he could just care a little more about himself and his heart and looks for me. It's hard wanting to be loving and touchy with someone who gives you the ick. He's very upset with me for not wanting to show affection, but I really can't do it when he doesn't look at least clean. AITA.
Woo.
That was a long one.
Doggy.
Refreshing to read something like this from a woman's perspective.
Finally, a sloppy man.
Well, I mean, guys are complaining about looks and stuff, and I mean, we don't need to go there, but it was refreshing. It was a change of pace. But yeah, I mean, this guy, let's talk about the health aspect, because I feel like that's a little more smelling sour, that's gross.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know, at this point, I don't know how you guys feel, but I've had friends who are like my age and I see them eating like really poorly, and it's hard for me not to be like, what are you doing?
Yes, absolutely.
I am a little jealous that he's not fat.
that he just eats all
He's
this
not
shit
fat,
and like
yeah.
doesn't get fat.
But he eventually will put on one of those weird skinny guy guts.
Yeah.
Weird skinny guy gut.
You know skinny guy gut?
No, what is
Where somebody's like skinny and then they have this
Like
this
root?
like
Yeah.
a real bump.
Yeah. It's like, it's this weird, like his arms are like sinewy and then he's got like this, it just looks like this add-on, like somebody took clay and they were just like shonk, you know?
Yeah.
I think though, I don't know, this kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier, which is like, but that's a value of mine. I want to feel healthy. You know, but I'm like, is it really my business that this person might be lopping off 10 years at the end of their life because they get heart disease? Like, it's really none of my business.
Well,
I mean, if
in
you're-
terms of the health, it's probably not your business, but like it's her business
because
she wants the person that she loves to be around. And I think that's part of your business is like being there and saying like, and helping them and finding a way to make it their idea that they want to get healthier. I mean, they're in their early 20s, which is a sloppy time potentially for, grooming yourself and eating healthy and all this stuff. So you just want to know that there's a road forward where this person starts taking care of themselves.
And it's a time when you can get away with this.
Yeah.
Right.
You
can
won't
eat
always.
like
That's
a
what I mean.
freak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the guy is not mature enough to be married. He doesn't take care of himself. He should not be married. And from a health perspective, like if you, we like really changed our eating habits because we went crazy over the pandemic and we like had a come to Jesus moment where we can't drink every day. We can't eat lasagna every night. We have to change our habits. And I ended up losing like 45 pounds and you didn't lose that much weight, but you're so much healthier. But like, honestly, I think that if I saw you going back to the habits that we developed over a pandemic, I would be like, hey, just like, sure, some cheese is fine, whatever, but like we can't go back to that place. Like it wasn't, that it wasn't good for us. And I don't think you would be mad for me to say that. And for you, your health isn't necessarily about being like super thin or anything, but it's just like you play sports all the time, you're healthy, you do treat yourself to some meals, but like mostly we eat pretty healthy, and that's important to me for our relationship because
it's a partnership.
It's a partnership, and I don't want you to drop dead at 50. I just don't want that because I like you.
That's why like it is that person's business, and this thing of like not getting divorced because you only get divorced like if somebody's cheating is.
That's
Why do you have like that's
what
is that?
Arbitrary rule.
I've never heard of that in my life.
It's not the only reason people get divorced. I mean, again, this is a maturity level
immature,
thing for this couple because they're so young.
They are young.
You're worth more than this person is giving you. Like, this person's not giving you their best self, and that's not fair. And for you to basically say, "I'll just take it for a while longer," is not doing you any favors.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a little hesitant to go super hard on him. I'm like, look, he sounds like a beach bum guy. There's guys like that. That's what they like, and I'm not here to say there's anything wrong with that, but it sounds like OP does have a problem with it. And I believe, I don't know, I see it in my own life. I don't want to overgeneralize, but I'm like, whenever I've been in a relationship, I guess I've never been married, so that's a gap. But like, that to me is I've been very like, I tend to be more static. I change a lot more out of a relationship.
Interesting.
I guess I feel like it's kind of hard. It was always hard for me to just be like, well, this is what it is. I don't know. It's like I'm kind of caught in the groove of the relationship. So I see myself in this young man a lot of just like, she's like, I don't like it. And he's like, this is just how it's been. No,
she says it's gotten worse.
She says it's gotten worse. And again, you are not just, I see your point. Like he's a beach bum. That's how I view him too. Like a surfer dude or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't get married. I mean, you're not just dating somebody and you're going like, let me be however I want to be. And if that's not okay with you, then we'll break up and there's no paperwork involved. But now you've decided to get married. And again, you guys are in this together. Like, it's not just, and she's not asking him, to me, like, she's not asking him for an emotional change. She's not asking him for like a personality change. I don't know.
Here's the thing. We don't know because he That's true. But he doesn't sound like he's willing to talk. I think that's the whole thing. You have to be willing to talk. You have a problem with me? Okay, well, maybe we can talk about it and find a solution. And that's the thing. Like, he won't talk about changing. He won't talk about his habits and his objectively unhealthy habits.
Also, the depression. He was like, I'm fine, which is not a good enough answer.
That's a horrible Midwestern answer. Like, you have to be able to talk about this stuff. And what is a marriage? Like, what if you have a kid and you have to like raise a family together? There's going to be conflicts every day. You know, you're not just always going to be on the same page about everything. Like, this is going to be the rest of your life conflict. That's what it is. Yeah. I think that this is the right way to do something. You think that this is the right way. Let's sit down and figure out, is there a compromise that can be made?
Right.
Why do you feel that way? Well, here's why I feel this way. Oh, well, now I see your point. You know, like, he's not willing to do any of the relationship work. And that's the biggest red flag.
It's also so early in their lives and their relationships to let yourself fall so far apart and not ever make your partner feel special.
Yes. You have the rest of your lives to make them.
Like, you're basically saying like, I love you, but it's not enough for me to ever. This doesn't have to be an everyday thing. We wear sweatpants in front of each other most of the time, but like, not enough to ever make you feel special by like going and like by getting my hair cut, like getting my hair straightened out, like looking good, wearing something that makes me look good next to you in front of people. And I know that can be superficial, but it is a part of a relationship. And he's already not willing to like do any of it. Like the diet thing notwithstanding, push that to the side, because that can be a conversation that you have to have at a different point. Looking good. Sometimes.
Yeah, I like that you brought us there. I think there's a gap between like superficial and understanding that we do have eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a sin to use your eyes
right.
and to assess people, because it shows things about your character. You know, when you look like total shit and you look unkempt, I think that's a fair characterization. It says things like, yeah, you don't really have it together and you're sloppy and you smell like sour. I feel for her. I actually think we did a situation recently, which is putting this on my mind, but like, I think people are afraid of ultimatums because they can be controlling and shitty. But I feel like the very honest thing to say is like, look, I want to be married to someone I'm attracted to. I don't feel attracted to you. Yeah. You know, and I need that to change because this marriage doesn't make sense. And I don't feel like that's a controlling ultimatum. I feel like that's a very fair, I-centered, statement of feelings where it's like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think the big thing for me in this question was, like a child I have to train. And I have a joke about this, but I do think that's so, I feel like my 20s was training men to go out in the world and marry somebody else. And it's really boring.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, I do feel like I really put in the time and I put in the work, and I worked on some people and they're out there and I hope that they're better than they were, but they're a fucking mess. And I'm sure if we dated when we were in our 20s, I would have trained you too. You know what I mean?
You guys met in your 30s.
Yeah, I was 30 and you were 32 when we started dating.
Yeah. And you've been married how long?
5 years.
And you've been together then?
10. Oh, look at, he just found out that I'm...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I knew you were somehow. Did you
40.
ride it? Big
no, I don't know. No, literally, it's in the New York Times. I begged them not to put it in, and they were like, okay, we'll just move it down a little bit. So it's out there.
Wait, what's in the New York Times?
My age.
That's an article? Emily Winter turns 40?
Yeah. Donna Martin graduates.
That feels personal at that point. Like, they wanted out you.
No, they recently did a profile on me because of I won The Price is Right, and it was like a profile about like, what are TV writers doing during this writing drought? And I was like, can we not talk about me being 40 because Hollywood's evil and they'll never employ me again, which They probably won't, but that has nothing to do with it. But yeah. And so they were like, okay, well, we will move it down. But they were like, if people think that you're 25, the stakes are lower because you're supposed to be living in squalor. So they were like, that your age actually does have something to do with it. Like you're at an age where you should want to like, you know, a nice home and like to not freak out about rent every month.
I feel for her too. I think this is a bad situation to be in, and it's tough to have this conversation, especially as it seems to be a one-sided conversation.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing. Like people can change and stuff, but you have to be able to have that you have to give people the grace to change, and I think this woman is, but like this guy just doesn't want to hear any of it, and I think that that's a great reason to get divorced. If I was like, "Can we talk about something?" and you were like, "No," I would be like, "Okay, then here's the paperwork." Like,
we talk about a thing that's like haunting me.
Yeah.
Won't Evan know writes, your priorities change as you move through life. When you're young, you want someone fun, carefree, adventurous. When you're having kids, you need someone who can look after a family, be responsible, reliable, who's a great example to the kids. A happy, healthy adult.
Yeah.
When you're old, you want someone to support you through illness. It's rare to be someone and even rare to find someone who can go with the flow for all these changes at the right time. Looks like you're going through some life changes and husband isn't keeping up. Spell it out. Give him a chance to catch up. If it works, great. If it doesn't, set him free.
Totally. That's perfect.
I love
perfect.
That. You Delicious version 549. I've been with my husband almost 28 years. We've gone through all you described. Now we're ready to just be us. I enjoy the security and comfort I feel when he's next to me, and I can feel his feet. I've always worked out, and at 53, he, on the other hand, doesn't care to work out and never has, but I would never trade him for anyone else, and no amount of money or looks could replace him. He's my favorite person in this world.
Oh.
I bet he doesn't smell sour.
You know? What's that feet thing, really? I'm still there.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was up with the feet?
Like, leave your stuff. Leave your weird stuff
We
out
didn't
of
even
it.
know about the feet thing.
No, I'm just thinking about...
Me Seeker, I just wanted to tell you, my wife and I rub the soles of our feet together. This is a response to this comment.
Jesus.
To clarify. That'd be wild if everybody was going on about feet.
You're on the internet. Feet stuff's going to happen.
Wife and I rub the soles of our feet together at night before going to sleep. And if one of us wakes...
Okay. I feel better about just watching TikTok now.
Yeah.
You guys are so normal compared to these feet freaks. And then it just won't do 242. This is why getting married super young is a bad idea. I'm with that.
Yeah, I mean,
it can be. Yeah, it can work out, but it can be like this.
It can work out. That's really fascinating to me.
It's totally fascinating. I mean, can you imagine?
I had to grow so much.
Yes.
I can't. But I'm like, are some people just cooked right away, or I guess people can just grow together? I mean,
I think they can grow together. They can get through that. Is she all right?
Your dog has once again ensnared by Mike Cable.
I'm so sorry.
But she doesn't pull or anything. She just like tangles herself in it.
Pickles can you be good like the
Lift
black
your
lab?
legs, puppy. I'm starting to find the way my husband looks disgusting. I think he is rejecting her. He's not hearing her.
Yeah.
I don't think he has to change. I think I think he can be like, look, this is what I want to do. I want to eat fast food. This is how I want to be kind of a mess.
Yeah.
I'd be like, he wants to be a beach bum, babe. That's it. But it seems like he's more being like, your concerns are invalid. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And that to me is why he's an asshole.
I agree. Totally agree. He's not having the conversation.
He's not having the conversation. All right, guys, thanks for listening. We're doing another round of Asshole Advocate here. Chris is going to be defending people who take the last one.
Yeah, dude. Like the last slice of pizza, or the last donut in the box. Like it gets left there out of some weird politeness that everybody has, and then it's just sitting there. And I think like you feel like you want it, and it gets offered. Here's the thing that bugs me. So people are like, does anybody want the last one when they want the last one? And then somebody takes it and then they're upset about it being taken.
You can't be upset. You
Can't
can't be
offer.
upset.
Chris, we need to make sure. I've been there. I am often the one who says, does anybody want the last one? And there is a flash of anger.
You want it.
I want it. But I recognize that everybody is supposed to get one.
Sure.
You know?
Now, what if somebody gets two and you only got one?
Well, if I'm surrounded by liars, that's on me for surrounding myself with a bunch of liars.
That's what I'm saying. But I think that there's a weird thing that happens where people go, oh, no. And somebody does want it and they turn it down out of politeness, hoping that it'll go fully around the circle and back to them, and they'll be like, well, I guess. But
So you're saying you don't ask? You just take.
ask, but you can't be mad if you ask and it's answered.
Yeah.
So I think.
Wait, so you think that you do have to? Okay, what if there's a pizza?
Yep.
There's one slice left.
Yep.
This is like a little work party or something. There's
Yep.
like 10 people in the room, and do you just go and take that last slice?
Yes.
See, that I don't like.
Why?
You're supposed to ask.
You're supposed to
How
ask.
do you know everyone got one?
Did everyone get enough pizza?
That's a different question. Did everybody get enough pizza versus does anybody want the last slice?
Right. No, you.
I actually think I would say, does everybody want the last slice? That's a situation where I kind of know I shouldn't. Because I'm trying to push
you're being
someone.
a bad boy.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm trying to push. I'm not kind of.
You're pushing the pizza at somebody.
Exactly. Whereas if I say, did everybody have a slice? That's probably a situation where I know everybody already had a slice, but I'm making sure that it wouldn't be straight up criminal for me to take the last one.
But I am going to defend somebody just reaching in and grabbing the last slice.
I hate that. So I used to work with a guy who always took the last slice, and I felt like I really wanted him to be like.
Now he's the president of America.
Now he's my husband. No, I'm just. And he had really bad social skills, and it was like, God, I hope I have to make sure that I get to this like work thing on time, because then so I get a pizza before so and so eats it all.
How many slices are we talking about him eating?
He was a bottomless pit.
Wow, one of those guys.
So that's different. This is like that's a different application. Like if somebody is housing the pizza,
that was my question. That's
different.
That's different. But there's a paradox here. Let's say there's 8 slices of pizza and 8 people. And Hauser comes in and inhales 2 off the bat because he's there early.
Inappropriate,
but is that the same crime as taking the last one?
No, it's very different. This is context. If there's 8 people at a meeting and there's one pizza, somebody does have to say up top, everybody, we only have enough pizza for 1 slice per person.
Oh, it's the onus is on the pizza provider to specify.
Or somebody. Being
1 slice per.
Being like, it's 1 slice per because we got 8 people.
He's into big government. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know, Chris.
It's the nanny state.
I don't know if I agree with that.
If you're dealing with a houser, if you're dealing with a bottomless pit,
But
you
he
have
would
to make
always
the
take
announcement.
the last one. Always.
Sure, this is a bad person.
No, he was so sweet. We have
it's
his
a bad
art hanging in our house.
It's a bad person in this context.
Yeah. No, he just has this like social.
It's
So
not
you have
okay.
to make the announcement to not point them out. You have to make the announcement for everybody when everybody really knows it's for one person and you're being polite.
Yeah, like in middle school when everyone was
What was that? Ugh.
It's disgusting because I don't like when adults have to be basically that's like so childish because
you don't like the way the world works. I get it, man.
Grown-ups are idiots.
But this is the way it's happening.
I know, but why do it should be allowed that you're just allowed to say Hauser, stop fucking housing, but instead we have to do this thing like, okay, everyone.
Well, if you have you in the office or somebody, sometimes it's nice to have a person who goes, "Hey, Dave."
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah, the hitman.
Yeah, there is a hitman
Curb Your
sometimes.
Enthusiasm.
Yes.
Yeah, I would be the hitman for sure.
But like sometimes you don't have that person.
I know.
And you have an office full of polite people who polite their way into only having 1 slice of pizza.
I think I can see you on. Imagine that there's pizza and wings and cheese sticks.
Oh, you don't have to ask me twice, baby. Yeah.
And you're already
I'm
thinking
there. I'm
about
imagining
that.
it. I'm in.
And then there's 1 per person. You know, 1 per person. In that case, there becomes like this weird fungible rule where you could take 2 slices of pizza because it's sort of understood that the chicken wings, there's like enough abundance that we stop getting so accounting.
Yes,
so this is what
yes.
I'm saying though, because I feel like that's a great example. Because if there's a lot of food,
Yes.
there's a lot going on, people still get the last slice-itis. They still feel like, oh, there's only 1 in there.
Yeah, I don't.
1 wing, Good.
If there's a lot on the table,
I agree with you.
I'm going for it.
You just grab it.
I always make an announcement.
I would.
Emily hops on the PA.
I go, I'm going to take this last mozzarella stick unless somebody didn't get one. Okay. Did anybody not get enough? Okay. Then I'm taking it. That's what I will do.
Sure.
You don't do that. You just go home.
Well, I used to be an announcer. But if there's, like I said, if there's enough food where you know people have enough to eat, then it's just like, nah, man, that slice gone. Take that box, throw it. There's more food here, you know?
Yeah, but it might not be the food that they want.
I mean, talk to the person who made the order. You know what I'm saying?
Or like vegetarian,
Vegetarian is that I agree with that. If there's a veggie option and it's like a lot of meaty things, like.
But you're good about doing, because I don't eat meat. I rarely eat meat, and it's only beef. I have a weird thing. So like, you're good about making sure that there's enough for veg stuff for me.
Yeah.
Before, like, you're like, oh, I took the pepperoni because there wasn't tons of veggies.
What a martyr I am for taking the pepperoni.
What a saint. So I think what we're taking away, though, really is asking. Always a good idea.
Asking is a good idea.
Asking is a good idea.
But also, like, don't be ashamed when it's like everybody gets 2 slices and you've only had one and there's only one left in the box.
Oh, that's so specific.
But don't feel bad about taking that last slice if you feel like you want that last slice.
What if everyone had 2 and you also had 2 and there's one left?
Take it. First come,
and
first
no
serve.
announcing? No announcing.
No announcing. If you know that for a fact, no announcing.
No, this is tribal rules at that point. Yeah.
That's it.
I think there's one left. I'm going to take it unless anybody didn't get enough.
No, that's a good strategy. That's the declarative announcement as opposed to the inquiry.
That's how I prefer to do it.
You just say, I'm taking the last slice. And that way it's more like a wedding objection situation where someone has to really have a problem.
Be like, oh God, I didn't.
Single combat.
If somebody was like, I didn't eat breakfast today and I'm starving, I'd be like, no, you take it then. You take it.
That's
you take it. That person needs it, you know? Yeah. But like, whatever.
Would you say it's single combat?
Yeah, then they have to fight in the conference room.
Duel?
Yeah.
I love that. All right, guys, we're going to read this one. I think it's from Relationship Advice. Then we're going to do one more. We're actually going to do 4. Is that cool with you guys?
Yep.
Good on time? All right, here's Chris.
My 26 male girlfriend's 26 female sister, 24 female, is saying I am a creep for being in her daughter's bed. How do I resolve this?
Uh-oh.
Me and my girlfriend have been together for a year now. I am very close with her family and get on well with them all. My girlfriend has always said that I am great with her niece. I am always playing with her and giving her attention. Every time I am not around, her niece is asking where I am.
Where's my uncle?
My girlfriend's niece is 3. Last time I was at their house, her niece took me to her room and put me on her bed as she wanted me to pretend I was in jail.
And at the bed,
I know.
Fun game. You're in jail.
You're in jail, dude. Hop on the bed. And that the bed was the jail. Her niece wasn't even on the bed with me as she stood next to the bed to stand guard and make sure I didn't escape the jail. My girlfriend's sister knew about this at the time and said nothing. But today, during an argument with her sister, my girlfriend, she brought it up, saying that it was creepy to go in her bed and that she hates me, period.
What?
I don't know the etiquette on this, so I don't know if what I did was actually wrong or if she is just nitpicking as she and my girlfriend are arguing. Because, like I said, she knew about it, but has only just brought it up now.
I just have to read this comment because it killed me. Historical Guide writes, yes, that's BS. You did nothing wrong besides for whatever you got thrown in jail for.
Dude,
this is insane.
You want a kid?
So insane.
A kid tells you to come in their room. You go in their room. They're like, hey, that's jail. Okay, the bed's jail.
The bed's jail.
Floor is lava, bed is jail.
Floor is lava, bed's jail.
You're playing their game. You're in their world.
Yeah. And it's lights out at 8 p.m.
Yeah, like I feel like this thing of like, I feel like this, you know, she's sexualizing the bed, which is like an adult thing. It's like, you know, anybody who's up to no good and doing the thing that she's sort of like, you know, implying. It's like, you think that why would that be limited to that situation? It's like, no, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And like, I do think you bring an adult perspective to the word bed. Like even reading it was like, she took me to her bed. And in my brain, I'm like, oh no, that's fine. Like I had a moment where you think like that sentence feels like took me to her bed feels like an adult sentence.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But I know instinctively that it's not because it's a kid playing a game.
Like,
course.
if it was closet, would any of this be happening? Like if jail was the closet?
Which I will, in actually to
better
ding
jail,
her a little bit, a closet is kind of a better
It's a way better
jail.
jail.
It's just going to
But
kind of
she's
really
3,
sell that.
so she'll get that when she's 4.
She's-
My 3-year-old niece ran the Stanford prison experiment on her.
AITA.
No, I think this is absurd, and obviously, I think that the sister has a problem with OP
I think so.
in some capacity, and was like, and also that he was in her bed, and you're like, okay, what? If you have a problem with him, direct. So many of these things are just like, just talk to the person.
Yeah. Do we think that the mom, the sister, who's the mom, is jealous of the OP because the daughter loves him so much and like is always asking for him?
Could be.
That's not a bad theory at all.
Yeah, could be.
I actually think that's a great read.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what is your problem? And then that she hates me. I'm like, how did you get to like?
It's like she said she had a problem with this, and she hates me. Not hates me for it. Hates me.
hates me.
Full stop.
Look away, 1, 2, 3 rights. Don't be alone with her or the sister either. I felt like that was kind of reasonable, just because if you got somebody like on a warpath, it's like, well, don't trust them.
Wait, sorry. What was the beginning
Don't
of
be
that?
alone with her or the sister. It's like saying like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
because I mean, she's the implications
yes.
of what she's saying are
You need to
beyond
protect
horrible.
yourself.
I'm like, I don't want to be near. I don't trust you anymore.
Now it's over.
No,
you know?
now the girlfriend has to be in every room with if either of the
They
daughter
just
or
have
the
to be
mother.
around everybody.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I think it's absurd, and you're right. It's not just saying, oh, I think that your boyfriend told an inappropriate joke to my kid, or they let her watch a movie that was too adult for her. It's like the implication is really loaded.
Yeah.
And I would be super offended and like, oh, well, I'm never going to your house again.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think this writer is so sweet because he's like, did I do something wrong? And it's like, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wouldn't say wrong. He did anything wrong. I think he was playing along. I think just because you want to avoid a situation like this, you might try to be like, oh, why don't we make the couch out here the jail?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think it sucks that that's the kind of attitude that, you know, to avoid things like this. But like, yeah.
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 In a different situation, because it sounds like they're close and they're familiar, so that's why he was comfortable.
Yeah.
But I guess in a situation where like a little kid that you barely know, like whatever, you're like maybe your niece's friend,
Right.
then you might want to be a little more cautious of that, just because it can't. Sometimes the optics alone.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't think.
Or you even tell them, you're like, oh, I'm going to jail in the bedroom. Like,
Yes.
Just so you know, I've been sent to jail.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh God, so sorry. Do you want us to bring you food? Like, then you can like play into it with them. So like there is an out loud
yes.
solve
for it, which everybody is like, oh yeah, that's jail. You
That's
know?
jail. I've been in there.
Yeah.
I think this one's a no-brainer. I just thought
gosh.
I honestly just wanted to read that comment. It was so hard. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up on this one. AITA for banning my friend from my home after she refused to take videos of my bird down.
I can't wait.
2 years ago, I adopted an African gray parrot who had suffered neglect. It took me a long time to get her to trust me, and now she's the most loving bird in the world, in my totally unbiased opinion. She's very popular with my friends and loves the attention and company, as African Greys are very smart and need constant stimulation. One of her favorite things is to sing along her favorite Disney songs. I indulge her whenever she indicates that she wants it. It recently came to my attention my friend had filmed some of these sing-alongs and uploaded it to her YouTube without my knowledge.
Ooh, that's shitty.
Or permission. I found out as I went looking on my friend's YouTube for an old video of a night out with a friend who had passed that I was missing. So imagine my surprise when I found 6 videos of my girl singing the parrot. This made me uncomfortable as I felt like she was exploiting her for views, which after her previous neglect and how long it took me to win her trust didn't sit well with me. I confronted my friend about this and she told me it was harmless and it was nice to share cute moments and document it for the future. I told her that if that was the reason she'd done this, she shouldn't have hidden it from me. I asked her to delete the videos and she refused. So I told her I didn't want her back in my house until she took the videos down, as I didn't trust her to not try and get more videos. Damn. She thinks I'm being unreasonable as it doesn't hurt my bird, and it's not like she's a child who she is putting on the internet for views. Maybe I was too hard on my friend, but the whole situation just feels gross. She's refusing to remove the videos and has told our friends I'm being ridiculous. Most agree with me that it's weird she uploaded the videos without my knowledge, but a couple think I'm being too harsh as it's just a bird. Could I have handled this better? AITA.
Boo.
Oh, man. I'm torn.
Man, you're torn?
Yeah.
Man, fuck that lady. Fuck that lady for posting those videos. You have to ask people permission. Also, like, the one woman is singing. Like, if you snuck a video of me singing onto the internet,
isn't it just the bird? Does she just the bird with the bird?
Okay. Well, still, I don't think that if I don't want my bird on the internet, my bird doesn't go on the internet.
Let's hear those songs, though, baby.
I know. I do. Yeah.
You want to see them, though, don't you?
If those videos are good, leave them up.
I do agree that it's not the same as putting a child on the internet at all. And the bird's never going to know. And so, like, the argument of, like, oh, well, my bird already suffered neglect. I feel like that's a stupid argument because, like, the bird doesn't care either way.
The bird now I'm missing out on viral stardom.
Right.
What the heck? I could have been the grumpy cat, the grumpy bird.
But, like, you want to take a video of my pet and post it? You better ask me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know either. I feel like you could be. I get her being upset, but I also think it's like, okay, well, just don't do it again. And, like, I feel like it's weird. Maybe you don't think it's weird, but how about we just agree that you don't do that anymore? Because it's making me feel weird. But maybe wouldn't ask her to delete them. I don't know.
It feels really controlling to me. I feel like the reason you don't let someone videotape your child is because that's a person. Mm-hmm. An African gray parrot is not a person.
Yeah.
And there's a child could, that could affect a child's life. Sure. It's dangerous. There's all these different reasons that do not apply. To me, I feel like the African gray is a being and, it was filmed and that's it. I guess, I don't know, for me, the idea that you own the likeness of the bird. I don't know why I'm not comfortable with it.
It's less about that than more about the respect for me. So I'm thinking, like, if somebody came over to my home and started filming Pickles snorting, which is a thing she does because she's half bulldog, and it's funny, and then they put it on the internet and didn't tell me or Chris, and then they came back over and they did this 6 times, and they were exploiting they were using our dog for views. Clearly, like the woman, saying that I'm documenting this, that's bullshit. We all know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
She's using it for views.
She's trying to get a hit.
She's trying to get a hit. So I would actually feel offended that they didn't tell me, like they're trying to pull one over on me. And that is the thing that would, I think, rock our friendship. Like,
I agree.
If you're just like, hey, do you mind if I post videos of Pickles snorting? I would be like, no, go for it.
You know what? Okay, you're kind of moving me because I'm thinking even about, I don't have any pets, but if someone took a picture in my apartment and publicized it, I'd feel violated. I'd be like, whoa. Now, if they took a picture, I'd be like, they took a picture. You're allowed to take pictures in my apartment. But that they publicized it, I would be like, well, why are you publicizing my apartment without my permission? That feels wrong.
So much of it to me hinges on the secrecy.
Yeah, just tell me.
I think if she was like, hey, can I post your bird on my YouTube? I think chances are this woman who's so in love with her bird, which is so boring, because birds are so weird and they can't give you love.
African grays are really smart.
I'm sure they are.
There's an African gray who hangs out here, 40 years old.
Whoa.
The bird.
Oh yeah, I saw him out there. He's just
it's me as
cigarettes. A bird. But I'm only mostly joking about that. But the person probably would have said yes.
And if not, I think that's weird too. I think it's just a formality of like, I'm not trying to pull one over on you. I'm not trying to like make a secret thing where I'm like using something that's yours for views, like without your knowledge. That just so icks me out. I don't know.
But I also think it's like, if it's a friend group, like it stinks that you have to be the bigger person in a way, but just say, don't do it again. And if you do it, just ask me, let's talk about it. And then you have to move forward, because to be stuck in a fight over it feels like the other friends are probably just rolling their eyes.
I think I'd be done with that person.
God, dude.
I'd be done with that person if they did not understand that it made me feel violated, that they took multiple videos of my pet without me knowing, I just found it randomly on the internet. I would feel like, what? Why didn't you tell me? Like,
I don't know why.
And then they don't feel bad at all.
Yeah.
I would just be like, just say I'm sorry. Like, I just like, do you understand why I feel violated?
I think it's violating. For me, the violation is you're violating my property by publicizing it. To me, that does feel like a boundary cross, an implicit boundary cross. If someone says Danny's bathroom is disgusting, which by the way, it's improved a lot.
But you're right. I mean, but in the eyes of the law, pets are property.
That's not exactly where I was going. Where I was going is if you guys took a video of my apartment and publicized it, I'd be pissed. But when I think about if I was out and about and I'm in public and somebody took my picture, I would be like, well, I was out and about. I don't know what to say. Like, totally I would feel not violated. So to me, something about the location of the bird.
Totally agree.
Like if somebody was like taking a picture of Pickles, your dog, at the park, and that, I'd be
that's
like,
it can get posted anywhere.
Right.
I agree.
It can get posted anywhere, right? So to me, the location is actually a factor here.
You bring somebody into your home.
Yes.
There's an intimacy to that.
Yes.
And I think that you owe them. Like if we came over and we were like, Danny has a cool kitchen, I'm going to video it and then post it without telling you. That would be fucked up.
That's violating.
I mean, I do even think though, like the fact that there's an animal inside of it, like it's not just your apartment, like, cause it wouldn't, no offense, it wouldn't feel like a special thing to post.
Well, maybe his kitchen is cool. We don't know.
No, but the reason that they are posting it is because of this specific thing happening with this specific. That's why I say it's like it is still property, but like the animal makes the whole video, right? Like,
yeah.
And so there's a little difference, even though I'm still on the same team as you for that, because like there's a specific specialness happening that is being caught, but it is being caught in your home.
Yes.
And that fact, and not being told at all, that is like, because even if you filmed the video without me knowing and went home and you're like, hey, I actually filmed whatever the parrot's name is singing. I don't know if you saw me do that, but can I post it? That's still okay.
I think that's fine.
You don't have to even do it in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can go home with that video and then reach back out and say, I did this. What do you think about it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that you could have avoided this situation.
But you guys are with me that if she had brought the parrot out.
Oh, if it was here?
To the co-working space, to Echo Park Lake, whatever. Then
that's fine.
Then it's like, yeah, you're in public.
Oh yeah, totally fair game.
I think that's the violation, and I think actually that's why this threw me, because I don't like the way I don't dislike it. I think the way OP framed this is like, my bird has a sordid past.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not about the bird. What was violated here was the intimacy that you share with someone when they invite you into your home, and there's an implicit boundary that they will not record. Publicize,
right,
or record, really, or record to an extent the innards of your home.
Yeah,
it's frustrating that we had to do the work to draw that out of the story.
Yeah, because both the OP and the other person are being disingenuous. OP in that, like, I don't want to further traumatize this bird that's not even going to fucking know what's going on. Yeah. So that's bullshit. Yeah. And then on the other person's side saying, well, I'm just documenting our lives. How many views does this have? And like, what were you,
was it worth it? Because if it's got 1 million views, then I'm like, all right, fine.
But that's like, is this?
You didn't tag me? Why didn't you tag me?
Like, if it's not for views, why isn't it on a private thing for just the friend group? Like that is,
I call group text.
Yeah, I call such bullshit on that. Like, yeah, I think
everyone sucks here.
No, I actually don't think that. I think that the letter writer is trying to make it a little like, sometimes you lie to yourself a little bit when you're right on like like technical terms, but you try to like make it, I don't know, more
your emotional bent has overtaken the actual parameters of the story.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I think
I love how you call the OPs letter writers. It's very
oh, sorry. You know what? I used to work for a teen blog, and I think we called them letter writers when I was the editor of it. So that's why I can't get over it.
I like to think that you imagine Reddit, the way you submit a Reddit post is you like write a letter, and you lick it, and then you send it to Reddit headquarters,
and then you refresh every day to see if they post it.
Yeah, I realized I think it's from God, I worked for that blog. I quit 11 years ago. So and I worked there for 6 years. So this is very old terminology that I'm
love
using.
It.
Yeah.
The letter writers. AITA for banning my friend from my home after she refused to take videos of my bird down. I think we're agreed unless Chris is going to hold out, but I am lined up that OP framed this weird, but in the end it was a violation. It was a violation of the home, not of the bird, of the home. And for that reason, I am at NTA, and the friend is Chris.
I think everybody sucks a little here.
You just hate birds.
No. I don't like that. I don't like the way that the person framed it, and I don't like that they can't get over it. But I also do think that person, the poster, was absolutely wrong and does suck. It's a light. Do
we want to keep going or
no?
Is that it?
I don't know. I'm torn up a little bit.
Yeah, we got to keep going until he agrees with us. Come on.
We could.
I guess we're gonna.
I guess I would say.
I do mostly agree with you guys.
Do you really think though that the person with the bird did something wrong, or is it really more that you don't like them? Because I think that's what I'm talking about.
No. I think the fact that they're holding out and can't forgive it is wrong.
You're more forgiving.
That they're holding out. They're holding up this friend group that now has to deal with this.
But this person wronged them.
I agree. If the person apologizes, I feel like just move forward off of it.
But they didn't
apologize.
That's the thing. They have not apologized. They have not just shown any remorse.
Yeah.
They won't take the videos down. They won't apologize. They suck.
They suck, and you're being an enabler by saying
I didn't say that they don't suck. I said that everybody sucks.
I know, but why do I have to apologize if they suck? I didn't do. This person didn't do anything.
Why do I?
They don't have to apologize.
Chris, what you're saying is both people suck. The OP sucks because they won't just let it go, but you can't have your cake and eat it. Why do they have to just let it go if you're saying the other person sucks?
I don't want to be friends with the person that thinks that they can violate my home, not apologize.
All right, then stop being friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm saying that friendship should be over.
End the friendship.
Because that guy's an asshole. That woman's an asshole.
Yeah.
So, you're with us?
Yeah, fine, I'm with you.
We brought him in, folks. We bullied him. Here we go.
We're gonna find out that this bird lady has 7 bodies in her basement. You guys are gonna freak out.
Yeah, well, that's don't video. That's all we ask. Chris, Emily, this has been really fun.
So
Thanks
fun.
for having me, dude.
This is great.
Absolutely. You guys want to plug away or?
Thanks for letting Pickles join us today.
Oh, we
too.
love Pickles.
Sure. You plug first.
I have a stand-up comedy album out called Husky Boy. You can get it on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, YouTube, everything.
I never heard anyone say Tidal.
Yeah. I made 55 cents off Tidal, so I gave him a shout out.
I'm Emily MC Winter on Instagram. Not even going to say TikTok because I don't know if it's going to even exist by the time this comes out. My website is emilywintercomedy.com, and I run a show called One Liner Madness that is touring the country in 2025. I have 6 cities booked already between February and March. It's 64 local comedians in a one-liner contest, and it's the most fun thing, and it's the thing that I'm most proud of, and it's totally worth it. So go to a One-Liner Madness near you. They're happening. They're happening.
They're happening.
Cool.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.